You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys, we should have known that there was going to be fireworks at the WNBA game that Enes Kanter Freedom attended. Now, you guys know that Enes Kanter Freedom is a former NBA player that has declared for the 2027 WNBA draft. And boy, the WNBA has a huge problem on his hands because they really should, by their own logic, let him enter the WNBA draft. Of course, Royce White also entered the WNBA draft as well. But Enes Kanter Freedom, guys, he picked the perfect game to show up at. It was the Indiana Fever playing the Chicago Sky. Now, you guys know that Sophie Cunningham actually plays for the Fever. Also, the wokest WNBA player plays for the Sky. And I'm talking about Natasha Cloud. I mean, this woman is dumb. Super duper woke. Enes Kanter showed up and he was actually wearing a pro women's shirt. You know, and Natasha Cloud did not like that. Enes Kanter also got ejected from this game, which was complete BS in my opinion, because Enes Kanter is just sitting there. Of course, he's not necessarily courtside, but he's behind the goal, okay, behind the basketball goal, minding his business, and Natasha Cloud starts joining him. She got triggered by a shirt. And you can actually see it on video, guys. She instigated the whole thing. But was she ejected? No. Enes Kanter Freedom got ejected. Now in the NBA, guys, if a player went after a fan like that, that player would actually be ejected, if not suspended. But in the woke WNBA, guys, I guess, you know, these woke lesbians can do whatever they want because she wasn't ejected. Enes Kanter Freedom was ejected, and he didn't even go on the court. This is really insane, guys. Really, really insane. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Here we go. Right over here, Post Millennial. Enes Kanter Freedom ejected from WNBA game after player gets triggered by his pro-woman shirt. And you guys can see right here in this picture right here, that's Dejanay Carrington right there with the blonde wig. And Natasha Cloud is right here as well. And the officials are actually holding her back because she's going towards Enes Kanter Freedom. Enes Kanter Freedom is still by a seat. He's just standing up. Look here, it says former NBA star Enes Kanter Freedom was ejected from a WNBA game in Chicago on Sunday after a courtside confrontation with Chicago Sky guard Natasha Cloud, as Freedom continues to advocate against allowing biological males to compete in women's basketball. Freedom has announced his eligibility for the WNBA draft, saying that as the league doesn't define a woman, he can identify as such in play. He's right. But let's watch this, guys. Let's watch this clip right here. It's 40 seconds long, and you're going to see who actually instigated this whole thing. It wasn't Enes Kanter Freedom. Let's roll it.
6-point basketball game. Chicago staying in it. Natasha Cloud.
So that's Natasha Cloud right there. Joining Enes Kanter Freedom. Watch.
And right before.
So right here, man, she's going towards him. He's just standing up. Because this shirt says woman, noun, adult, human, female. Yeah, that's it. And she actually goes towards him. He did nothing wrong, but he's the one that actually got ejected.
For the break, this was the scene inside Wintrust Arena after Natasha Cloud got that bucket. She wanted her voice heard. We have talked about the conversations surrounding the W. That is Enes Kanter in the building today. And he has voiced how he's felt about the situation. Natasha Cloud voicing her opinion as well. Kanter was just escorted out.
Crazy. No reason to eject him. Natasha Cloud instigated the whole entire thing. And Enes Kanter even posted on X, I just got kicked out of a WNBA game for supporting women. Let that sink in, America. Yeah. Because Natasha Cloud, she's perfectly okay with the trans invasion in women's sports. Now, check this out on Outkick. Enes Kanter Freedom opens up on confrontation with Natasha Cloud that led to ejection. WNBA pursuit. Says here, former NBA player Enes Kanter Freedom says Chicago Sky guard Natasha Cloud made a vulgar remark towards him and repeatedly cursed before security removed him from Sunday night's game against the Indiana Fever. Freedom, who was sitting near the baseline at Wintrust Arena, said the confrontation began after he celebrated a three-pointer by Fever guard Sophie Cunningham. Quote, Sophie Cunningham shot a three, and I put my hands up to celebrate, Freedom said. Literally, a couple possessions later, Natasha came back and started screaming and yelling and said, quote, she's not going to sleep with you. Well, Natasha Cloud, I'm pretty sure that Sophie Cunningham isn't going to sleep with you either, even though you probably want it to happen, but I digress. And I was like, I am not trying to sleep with her. I'm just here to protect women and support her. And then obviously after that, she started yapping and she started to walk towards me. And literally, I got up and then I was like, I'm just here to protect women. And that's all. Wow. And they kicked him out over that. No consequences whatsoever for Natasha Cloud. She instigated the whole thing, folks, because she's a woke activist. Freedom said Cloud then began using profanity in front of young fans. Quote, she started to yell. She started to use some very heavy language. She started to actually cuss. And I was very shocked that there were a lot of kids and that there were a lot of teenagers at that game. I just cannot believe that she was just cussing and using those F-bombs in front of all these kids. I'm sure she loved it in Chicago, and many kids are idolizing her and stuff, but that's not how a WNBA athlete should react. Yeah. This is crazy. Then he talks about how he was actually cheering for Sophie Cunningham when she made that three, and Natasha Cloud got triggered. This is crazy. This was crazy. They kicked him out over that. No consequences whatsoever for Natasha Cloud instigating and insulting a fan. Enes Kanter is a fan. Folks, the biggest supporters of WNBA is actually NBA players. Yeah, the NBA has been the biggest supporters of WNBA, but these woke activists don't really care. They kicked him out just because he's wearing a shirt. And Natasha Cloud was actually triggered. He was cheering for Sophie Cunningham. So, hey, you got to go. You guys saw the clip. All Enes Kanter Freedom did was just stand up, raise up his arms. That's pretty much it. Say, hey, I'm standing up for women. And they kicked him out. You can't make this up, man. You cannot make this up. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.